Welcome to the Footy Times, the Premier League review show for the game week 8. It has been a good week for me, and we are continuing the tradition of the happy fan being the host. With that, first wanted to obviously do the do the duties. Please like, share, and subscribe the video for more football news, stats, and banter that we provide through this channel. So please continue your support. And so this week was Manchester United winning, which is that is why it makes me happier. Then Arsenal did suffer a pretty bad loss. Manchester City and Liverpool had a game of two halves in terms of excitement, and Chelsea and Tottenham continue their winning ways. So, with just this overview, I'll pass it on to Sheldon for stat of the week.
Thanks, Nasag. And for today's stat of the week, we have manager Carlo Ancelotti, who happens to have been one of three managers who's won the Champions League 3 times. Guess what? He's lost 3 league games back to back for the first time since November 2006 when he was managing AC Milan. It's been 14 years. And since then, he has managed 5 teams: Chelsea, PSG, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, and Napoli. That's a crazy stat right there. I mean, for him to lose, I mean, he's one of the decorated managers of the game. So I'm sure that wasn't something he was looking forward to. But being a United supporter, I'm super happy. We got those 3 points. So, but yeah, moving on to Nisarg. Go ahead, take it away.
Yeah. So we'll move on to the big game of the week. That was Liverpool and Manchester City, and I'll let Avinash jump in and share his thoughts about the game.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously, I'm going to be talking about it mostly from the Liverpool perspective, but let's then see. So, I mean, the biggest talking point, I think, was Klopp switching formation to like a 4-2-3-1, 4-4-2. I think everyone was kind of taken aback, including Pep. There was a debate all week. I think we discussed this in the last episode as well, whether Jota would replace Firmino or, if he. I don't think anybody expected that he'd go with all four. Personally, I think it was a function of Jota's form. But more than that, I think it was just a case of which was the better option, whether to go with the third midfielder, which he usually likes to do, or a fourth attacker. And actually, if you see, without Thiago, without Fabinho, Keita is not really match fit. So I think it was on those lines, it was an easy enough decision to make because, why put in somebody just for the sake of it? You might have to go with Milner or Jones, not quite the best option. So I think that way it was an easy enough decision. And actually, everyone was like, it was a very brave call. It could have easily backfired, but in the first half, it really seemed to work. If you see, they didn't actually press that high. They kind of sat back in like a medium block. And they basically let the centre-backs of City have the ball and try to block passes into the midfield, especially to De Bruyne. And when they won the ball back, they transitioned quickly with, all four of the forwards. And to the point where it looked like it was a 4-2-4 almost. And in fact, if you push the fullbacks forward as well, it's almost like a 2-4-4. So it's a very, very brave system to go with. And actually, some of the technical quality on show was breathtaking, I thought. I mean, just the way we got from back to front, and even some of City's play, which is always good, actually. But from our perspective, from Liverpool's perspective, it was great. Backed a little bit of precision in and around the box, I thought. We could have definitely scored more than one goal. And this is actually something which I felt for a while now, in spite of, being Champions League and Premier League winners in the last 2 seasons. I feel like we've not always killed games off when we could have. It's kind of left us hanging on towards the end. Not hanging on, but, makes it seem like a lot narrower, a lot of the wins than it needed to be. But, yeah, I mean, against smaller teams, it's okay because you can go on, maybe get the second. City, that they're going to come back sooner or later. They're going to figure it out and they're going to get into the game. And that's exactly what happened. And after that, after the the first half an hour, I think City just got the hang of the system, and then you saw some of the drawbacks. De Bruyne started picking up, little pockets of space because basically the two in midfield could not cover all the space, uh, and you essentially needed the wingers to sort of, help with that. But then they're not used to the tactical demands of the system. They are used to, sort of pressing more, and they don't necessarily always have to track back. So there were a couple of occasions where Mane was out of position because he was pressing high, and in fact, that's what happened for the goal. And then Wijnaldum was asked to move over to shut down Walker, because that's kind of what he does in a 3. The wide midfielders do a lot of that, trying to shut down the wide area. So because of that, KDB got some space, and then he picked the pass to Jesus and they scored. And it happened on a couple of other occasions as well. In fact, Gomez, the handball also came like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, somehow we got away with that one. I have no idea how De Bruyne dragged that wide. So yeah, and the second half, I think the game just kind of fizzled out. As you said, it was a game of two halves.
So one question I wanted to ask you. So did you feel that the play leading up to Liverpool's goal, Sterling was fouled or not? Or like he didn't go down?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, I think he might have been. Maybe if he'd gone down, who knows?
It would have been. Okay.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, you get some, you don't. I don't think the handball was a handball either. So it's just.
Oh, really?
I thought he was trying to take his hand off. I mean, he literally tried everything he could to take his hand away from the pass.
But then the natural. Yeah.
Exactly. I mean.
Yeah, but that's the thing, right? He can't have his hands fixed to his side when he runs. It's going to be in a position.
He turned. It's not like he was.
No, because he was trying to take his hand away.
No, I understand he was trying to take his hand, but out of the way. But then it's still like it impeded the ball from going. So, irregardless of his intention, I still think it's a penalty.
What would you have him do? That's the thing.
Not have his. I mean, if he had to not, I don't know. Maybe
because the hand was going to be in the path of the ball anyway. I think.
Well, in that case, then there was no way for him to prevent himself from getting.
Which is the problem, isn't it? We are again back to the same discussion of natural silhouette.
But in this case, I don't know. I just share a different opinion.
Yeah, as in I felt that this case it was slightly more outside than it.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. It was not even it was stuck to his body.
Yeah.
That is.
Yeah, you can't have it. He's running, right?
And it's not an intention, right? That's what the call is. It's not on the intention, right?
Intention has never been the case.
Correct.
It's always about unnatural positions and things like that. But that's the thing. That's what we discussed first. How do you define an unnatural position? Because he's running along with De Bruyne, and then he's going to have his hands by his side. So it's a really tricky one. Unless he runs with his hands stuck to his side, which is, or with his hands behind his back or something like that, which is entirely unnatural. I think we've discussed.
No, but what I was thinking was that his hand was stretched out. He made an attempt to actually kind of draw it, and it still hit it.
Yeah, what I can see is that attempt he made to sort of take his hand out of the way made it seem like it was a movement towards the ball. That's where probably it looks really bad, especially in slow motion.
Yeah.
But the only thing I can say is
enough.
Referees are actually going and checking the monitor, which at least is something better than what we were seeing before. But yeah, I mean, you still can't slow it down, and there needs to be more common sense applied. But yeah, I mean, anyway, I didn't want to go into the details of
this. Sorry for digressing.
No, that's fine. But yeah, the point is this. Yeah, I just feel like things cancel out, and we had that thing last season where it probably should have been a penalty for Trent. So yeah. Anyway, so.
No, I was going to say that Sterling was horrible in this game. I thought that he had quite a few chances which he should have put away.
Maybe one. I don't remember City creating that many. I don't know if you guys saw the game differently. Maybe there was one chance where Alisson came and closed him down. I think that's the one I remember.
Yeah, that was the clear-cut one, and then which he should have passed to Jesus. Then I think maybe not this game where he's had a lot of
time. He's not being at his best. I don't think City attack as a whole has.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then Jesus also missed, I think, a header or something, right?
That header was a bad miss.
Yeah. So I mean, I thought City did decent as far as
really
creating quite a
good,
few chances. They could have. I don't know. I mean, you're obviously happy that you got something out of the game. Do
especially
you
after.
think that? Do you think? Uh, okay, and the other
I
part
think
of it.
we'll come to that, I guess, because I do have a question to ask you guys, so we can cover that
Oh, okay,
at the
okay,
end.
okay.
Yeah. But anyway, so I think second half, as you said, I think it just kind of fizzled out. I thought both teams were very conservative. City also, they had a lot of the ball, but they weren't really that brave. It felt like they didn't want to risk being counter-attacked, and Liverpool, I felt, just sort of ran out of legs a little bit. And even when they had the ball too, it wasn't like as direct as they were in the first half. Because, I mean, if you want to be brave, then you're going to have to be ready to run back. And it's a lot of
Yeah,
high intensity sprints. And happened to Trent, right? They showed one sprint and his calf went or whatever. And that's just
Yeah.
schedule. I mean, I think both managers addressed that. Uh, it almost seemed like, they kind of shook hands over a draw even before the final whistle. And
Yeah.
I think it almost, and I'm not saying they wanted to prove a point, but it does show that what such an intense schedule can do, because ultimately the product on the pitch suffers. And that's kind of what happened. So for me, that is to blame. Um, so yeah, that's pretty much, I think, as far as the game was concerned. And yeah, I wanted to know from you guys. I will give my opinion later. So who do you think would be the happier with a point? I think this is the one I want to know.
I think.
I can
Mhm.
start probably.
Go ahead.
I think City might be the happier.
Mhm.
Like I think they have leaked a lot of goals, and it was like against Liverpool to concede one. I think would have been a plus point. And like I wanted to mention a couple of points. I initially felt that like having four strikers was probably a good strategy given like I thought that they were probably targeting Cancelo uh, in because I felt that he was like the weak link in the team, but he actually had a pretty good game. I felt at the
Yeah,
end of the day, and yeah, it was interesting. I think everyone was shell shocked when they probably saw the team sheet for Liverpool and like, what? How are they going to fit four strikers? And considering all those facts, and then City could like control like play their normal possession game even with so many strikers on the pitch for Liverpool. I feel they might be the happier team. And Kevin De
Mhm.
Bruyne kind of getting into his stride. I felt he was like warming up to what
Yeah,
he
but
what he
don't you think Liverpool were there for the taking as well? On the other hand, and
yeah,
playing a
yeah.
very open system,
not
given
with the
their
absence of
injuries.
strikers, not with the absence of striker that City has. As in there is
Yeah,
Jesus, but as in yeah, actually Jesus kind of proved the point of how badly they need a good striker. As in like the one chance he got, he actually scored. I loved his turn by the way. The second touch
Yeah,
was
yeah.
probably
I'm not sure it
iffy.
was entirely intentional, but yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not
No,
sure whether
that's
he intended it, but
Yeah.
he still managed to score.
The finish was
Uh,
really good. How sharp he
yeah,
was to
yeah.
react to that. Yeah.
So I think it just goes to point out the fact that they actually need a proper striker. They need a replacement for Aguero, which they don't currently have.
Yeah. 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 I think that's fair. What do you think,
yeah.
Sheldon? You had.
I was gonna say I I thought Liverpool were lucky to get a point from,
Mhm.
especially the fact that they conceded a penalty, and De Bruyne being De Bruyne, he should have buried that. And but yeah, I don't know. I When I watched the game, I felt like
I
the
mean,
City did create a decent number of chances, which should have ended up in the back of the net. Liverpool so much.
mm,
Um,
yeah.
and like you said, Liverpool were there for the taking. I mean, um, they had four recognized attackers who are known for their attacking abilities rather than defensive. And then you have your fullbacks also kind of going forward. Um, Unfortunately, City didn't make the best use out of it, and at the same time, City's defense also, uh, has had its ups and downs. Uh, there were times I thought Diaz was really good, but then there was times when he was like out of position, and like Liverpool should have scored and stuff like that. So Uh, yeah, I thought at the end of the day, Liverpool would be happy to have at least, not lost that game.
Rahul?
Rahul.
So I sort of echo with Nisarg's sentiments. I felt City were the luckier one to get the 1 point, because you see that from the team sheet, right? Like Liverpool going in with 4 attackers. Klopp definitely smelled blood, that there was scope that Liverpool could come away with a win. So I definitely feel like Liverpool were of the mindset that they could score the 3 points at Etihad. But so in that sense, sure, I feel they were robbed of the 2 points. But in the game's perspective, yeah, it was a bit of a toss in the actual game, the way that it happened. And obviously, the penalty miss definitely took it out of Manchester City's hand. So, from a overall perspective, I felt Liverpool were robbed, is what my final answer is.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of echo all your sentiments in a way, because before the game, honestly, I would have bitten your hand off for a draw. I mean, all last week I was thinking, just let's get into the international break with a point, and given that all the injuries that we've suffered and everything, all the setbacks, over the last few weeks, I thought, this would be a very good return. Pretty much being unbeaten since the last international break, and drawing the two most difficult games and winning the rest. But after the game, I don't quite agree that City were the better team. I thought we had a lot of, if not clear-cut scoring opportunities, we were one final pass away, especially in that first half an hour, where we could have easily been 2-0 up, and it would not have flattered us at all. So I think we missed a chance there. And there were City, apart from those two chances, one that Alisson saved from Sterling and Jesus header. And yeah, the penalty, which, I won't class that as a chance, but yeah, it was a chance because the guard got it and he missed it.
Obviously.
But in terms of creating chances, I don't think City were that good. And that's what I was thinking. Like, while I was watching the game, honestly, usually this is nothing like what I expect. When City play Liverpool, it's like a white knuckle ride for me, because the quality that they have and the pace with which they move the ball and how they punish mistakes, just the way they play, it's 190 minutes, which I never look forward to. But then the more I watched this game, I felt like this is a shadow of the team that I'm used to seeing. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think they were definitely there for the taking. And here's why. I think their defense was actually good. I think Laporte and Diaz are the making of a good partnership. But their midfield is a real problem, because I feel like Rodri is good on the ball, but then he just does not have the mobility to get around the pitch. So Pep is almost forced to play an extra midfielder alongside him. This time it was Gundogan. But the problem is that's hampering their attack massively. In addition to not having Aguero, I think there's too much reliance on De Bruyne. And if teams focus on shutting him down, they pretty much don't have any answers. And I feel like even if they were to choose to trust Rodri to be the sort of the lone defensive midfielder, which is what he cleared, right? Yeah. His best midfield was when Fernandinho was behind De Bruyne and Silva. But even if they do that, I feel like they don't have another creative midfielder who offers like the mix of creativity and control, which Silva offered. Mm-hmm. Because on the ball, because it's an open sort of system, and you have to be very careful to not give the ball away in bad areas. And I don't think that he trusts Foden or even Bernardo, because Bernardo, I would say, can do the role, but then he's been on a real bad run since last season. So I think they have a few different issues in midfield here. And that is, for me, I'm particularly intrigued to see how Pep solves this actually. Because everybody's been talking about how their defense is vulnerable. I feel like the midfield has been an issue which has kind of been ignored amidst all this.
Yeah. True. Yeah. The midfield definitely is weak. But I
think they never really replace Silva.
Yeah.
And Company, obviously.
Yeah.
Company. I think,
and probably they need a replacement for Aguero.
So yeah, that's it. There's a lot of issues.
I think it's mad. The spine.
Yeah, the spine of the team is missing. Yeah, that's true. Like, when I listed the players, I'm like, that's like pretty much the three important players that are missing.
I mean, it's basically like, I think Jose had this joke where it's a rug where no matter how much you pull, there's something which is left out when you're trying to pull a rug. So basically, I think they fixed the defense, but then now Fernandinho is a big miss. I feel they haven't really replaced him also properly because, like I said, Rodri is not offering the complete solution. And then now the Silva void. Everybody thought Foden would be the answer, but I think he's better off as a forward at this point. I don't think he trusts him to have the tactical discipline.
A couple of good games.
He's very good. He's very good.
Yeah,
I mean,
in that Silva kind of a role.
Yeah, but then that's the thing. The control and the sort of, that's basically what Silva had. You just need to be a little more.
Comes with time.
Yeah, exactly. I think he will improve, but that's the thing. I don't think he's there yet. And I don't know what's happened with Bernardo. He looks like.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Ferran Torres was picked ahead of Bernardo and
Mahrez.
No, Mahrez didn't even for Foden. Mahrez, I don't know. I think maybe he's out injured or something. He wasn't.
I see. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I think
Should we move on?
Let's move on.
So for the next game, we'll talk about Arsenal versus Aston Villa.
Do we really have to?
And I'll let Rahul rant or express his discontent for the game.
Aston Villa giant killers.
Yeah, they are. I don't even know where to start. 3 points lost, 3 goals conceded at home. It was just a bad showing all around. I guess I don't even have anything good to say about the match, I feel. It's like, okay, the one thing that I definitely want to rant is the finishing. I have been saying this for the last 3-4 reviews. Like, Arsenal's finishing is pathetic these days. Like, the final touch is not there. Like, their build-up play has also gone down, but the final sort of chance where they converted, like the final touch is missing. Like in this game also, I think Lacazette had a very good header chance.
Yeah.
Tony,
But
yeah,
I don't know. You think they're creating enough, Rahul? I just don't.
No, that's what I'm saying. That has also gone down in the last couple of games, I feel. A few games before those, they were at least creating chances and they're not converting. So I don't know which one is better, but yeah, they're not creating enough chances for sure. And I agree with you. The other one was Rob Holding's left-footed sort of a shot. That should have been in.
I didn't even notice. It was that irrelevant.
No, I mean, so those were the real few chances that Arsenal had. Then Willian had a chance on a volley. That was super difficult. That's fine. It was super difficult chance on a volley to like sort of pivot himself and all. But yeah, that it was a chance nonetheless. Like considering how many goals he scored for Chelsea. I think he should have done better, at least get somewhere near the target. So yeah, that was like the finishing is so much bad at Arsenal right now that it's unbelievable. And Aubameyang is not clicking. Like for the life of me, I don't understand why he is. It feels like there is something to do with like big good contracts and players fizzing off. Like it happened with Ozil. Again, it's happening with. Yeah, there's definitely something there. So I don't even know. And he's not even there in the games. It's not about just his finishing. Even like if you see the matches, the highlights, you won't even see him twice maybe these days. So that's pretty jarring for Arsenal. And Lacazette obviously has lost his touch final. Like I felt like he was a very good shooter when he came on from Marseille. He had a very good sort of range of shooting. Leon. Yeah, so he had a very good range, and I don't. Yeah, it has sort of he has lost it. I feel. Yeah, badly. So that was one of the things that I definitely feel Arsenal got to change in some time, not sometime, like pretty quickly. The other thing, coming back to your point, Avinash. So there was this one stat where apparently Lacazette was given just 5 balls were fed in to him versus 32 for Ollie Watkins for Aston Villa. That is almost 7 times more balls are fed in. I mean, they were obviously like that. They were not like direct chances, obviously, but like still like ball in the final third and in the goal kind of a thing. So that stat just blew my mind off, and I don't. Yeah,
so that says everything. About the way Arsenal playing right now.
Correct. So yeah, that was bad. And credit to Villa, they had really good games in terms of off the ball and on the ball. Like off the ball, if you see their games, the way they were pressing, they didn't let Arsenal play out from the back, and like they were pressing like four people whenever Leno had the ball at the back and he was trying to pass, and Arsenal had to clear. So that definitely helped. And like lately, the strategy of Tierney and like basically the fullbacks joining the attack, they were left behind. And I think that strategy from Arteta was wrong because the form that Grealish is in. Like if you see the match, he found so much space because Bellerin was just out in the front and he couldn't trace back. That was like pretty jarring, the whole thing. So definitely there was that change needed considering Grealish was breathing down on the Arsenal's right side and the form that he was in. I think it should have been a traditional sort of a four-man defense. I felt would have had a much better effect. And if not that, at least just Bellerin marking Grealish. Even for the goal, I think the second goal that sort of killed the game. Like after that, you see Arsenal that they're not going to come back. I think Nketiah was sort of lost trying to mark Barkley, and he had no idea because Bellerin was out of place and he was there near the right.
Oh, really?
Because it came from a corner, so people were out of positions. Yeah.
Okay.
So it was sort of a ball that was played out of the box and then it came back into Ross Barkley. So that's why it was out of position. But so I think Arteta sort of lost that on strategy. The way it was not changed. I felt for this game to contend with Grealish primarily and sort of the creative midfield that Aston Villa had. So all in all, both sides of the goalpost, it was a bad showing for Arsenal. Well, Emi Martinez did get a clean sheet, but not for the right team. That definitely mixed feelings. I feel.
Yeah.
I was gonna say the first goal. Did you guys watch the?
Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah. What the hell?
I mean, that wouldn't have been out of place if Man City or Bayern or Barcelona were to score that. We'd be just saying it's normal for them. It's ridiculous. I mean,
they're like I think there were like some 10-12 passes right before like.
You see the way they worked the space. The triangles they played and
triangle near the box.
They just kept sort of.
What actually surprised me was the fact that Arsenal defenders gave Grealish and Barkley so much respect. They should have kicked the ball away. They were just waiting. Like I don't know what happened with them.
I think I don't know. Maybe they underestimated Villa's quality.
Exactly. Yeah, definitely that happened.
Yeah, the amount of times Rob Holding got spun was incredible. And it was kind of a mixed feeling for me as like. How did we lose to Arsenal?
Definitely.
But then.
That's.
But then, I think as Rahul correctly pointed, respect where it is due to Aston Villa. I think they deserve all the credits for putting out that performance.
But
I mean, go ahead, Sheldon.
Oh, I was going to say shout out to Ollie Watkins. What a fine he has been from the championship, right? I mean, 7 goals now?
Mm-hmm. And I think 5 of them against Liverpool and Arsenal.
There you go.
They are the giant killers. So, I mean, Watkins and I think Barkley and Grealish, for me, they basically showed what Arsenal are missing. Because I see this Arsenal team and I just don't understand what they're doing. There is zero creativity. Right. I don't understand where the creativity is coming from. They just have a structure.
They have Ozil.
And nothing else.
Using Ozil?
Ozil is not in the Premier League sheet also.
I just look around and none of the players are inspiring. I mean,
that's true. Like Ceballos has also stopped.
Ceballos,
and he was supposed to be a creative player. I don't see him creating anything, to be honest.
But he's not getting chances also, right? Mo Elneny and Partey apparently is the new partnership at. When it works wonders. I'm pretty sure, and it did in the few games.
But again, that is when you have to maintain a defensive shape. I think it's still not then you're looking to break on the counter. And for me, like even like I don't know what you think, Rahul, but like when Pepe came as a sub, he looked far more dangerous as compared to Willian. As in, I simply don't understand like why Willian plays.
Exactly. I mean, so. Are you going to say something, Rahul?
No, sorry.
That's exactly what I was trying to say. That they don't have anybody capable of creating something or making something happen. Because structure is all well and good, right?
Yeah.
But then what makes the difference is the individual quality within that structure.
Correct.
Because any team can have a structure in place, but then you need what makes the the good teams better is because they have better players and who are more who can make things happen. And at this point in time, apart from Oba, it doesn't look like anybody is capable of that.
Right. And we don't have like a central midfielder like a Ozil. Like okay.
Yeah, not you don't have a creative midfielder, or there's no sort of wide player who's capable of going past somebody or just
Willian has not been that player that he was for Chelsea.
I don't know. He should drop Willian right away.
Oh, yeah. Pepe is definitely showing flashes of the $70 million that was paid for him.
Yeah.
So might as well just try him.
Yeah, he's spontaneous, right? That's the word I was looking for. He's spontaneous. There is no spontaneity in this team. Yeah. And you see, when the structure collapses, like it did against Villa, you're nowhere.
There is nothing to do.
It seems like they're just relying on, just maintaining that, controlling the ball, just controlling the game, and then create one chance,
and finish it,
and then win.
That's what we are not doing.
Is 3-5-2 the best formation for Arsenal though?
It's 3-4-3, I think, right now. But either way.
Yeah, it's 3-4-3 right now.
It's not so much that I feel the individual players are not right. And also somehow it doesn't seem to be getting the best out of Aubameyang. He's not in areas to score.
Right.
I saw him hugging the touchline a couple of times, and that is absolutely not where he thrives.
And then Nketiah comes in and he still says, like sometimes what happens is like a winger comes in and then Aubameyang tucks back into the central position, but that's also not happening. And I feel like at this point there needs to be some changes. Like if you see all the Europa League matches, there are brilliant players like Villa. Yeah, Villa can play in this team. Pepe, he's also been a sort of a Europa League player right now for Arsenal. He definitely can be tried and see how it goes. So I feel like that is sort of lacking. Like I feel the defense, okay, the 3-0 scoreline doesn't show that, but the defense is still good, I feel, because of Partey. Like he has been brilliant in the games. Like even in this game, a couple of interceptions that he made, like his off-the-ball play, trying to win it back, it was amazing. Gabriel has been good. David Luiz, he's not playing right now, but he's also good. So I think, ironically, despite this 3 goals in, defense is a bit better than the attack at this point. Midfield, actually.
Yeah. And I also feel that I think United probably suffer the same problem. I think there is that mentality issue that's there. As you correctly said, like at 2-0, you just literally like the shoulders just drop. You knew that Arsenal was not going to come back. An Arsenal or a United team before would never have done it. Like at 75 minutes, 2-0 down, you would still fancy them to score 2. But that's and that is what kind of what Liverpool and City have been very good at in the recent past, as in that mentality that they're never out of the game. So I think with all those combinations, it was, I think Arsenal and United both are projects in progress.
I mean, you're going to see this inconsistency for a while, I think.
And could it also be the fact that did Arsenal play in Europe?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So they definitely look a little lackluster.
Only second team, Sheldon.
What?
Back to back, Ollie's team, Malta.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Looks like they have a better manager now.
Not that.
Okay, fine.
Not that bad, but
yeah.
Cool. So we can.
That's
probably a good.
Yes.
That's probably a good segue to the next game, to the happy fan.
Ollie
happy
back
fans,
in.
Rather.
I'm totally Ollie in.
That is. So that's United versus. Everton versus United. So Sheldon, do you want to share your thoughts on the game?
Yes. I mean, obviously, I'm a happy fan and can't express the fact that we got those 3 crucial points. We do have a game in hand, but you know what? Those 3 crucial points were at least a boost to Ollie's confidence, because we came out of a very shambolic week, midweek, where we lost to Basaksehir, and then we also lost to Arsenal the previous weekend, 1-0, and everyone was, going after Oli, that, including me, that, we need to change the manager and stuff like that. So, but Oli somehow, I don't know what this team does. It just, when they know that Oli is going to be losing his job, the team just rallies and somehow produces like performances, like these, which shows that the team is capable of these kind of performances. I don't know if it has to do with the mentality, mindset, or taking the opposition for granted at times. So I'm just glad that happened. The scoreline pretty much speaks for itself. I mean, it's 3-1. The most important player, or rather two players on the field for United, were undoubtedly Bruno Fernandes and Fred, in my opinion, at least. Bruno, United started off pretty poorly. I thought that it was going to end up, going down south once again, because we conceded a goal really early. Which I think the ball came from Pickford's long pass. Typical, it found the target man in Calvert-Lewin. Maguire couldn't defend, and it landed into the path of Bernard, and he ended up scoring on the near
I think
post.
Sheldon, it was Lindelof, not Maguire. That
Oh,
was
was
one
it?
of that was one of the pain points. As in, why the hell was
Oh,
Maguire the
yeah.
spare man and not winning
You're right.
the
Yeah.
ball?
Exactly. That was a mismatch. Obviously, Lindelof is not known for his aerial abilities as such. But yeah, I mean that when that went in, I was like, shit, it's going to be like another debacle. But then we dug deep. Bruno, just simply amazing. I mean, he found that space in between the two defenders and was able to score. And then later on, he also created. I mean, he put in a cross for Rashford to score, but it hit the. I think it hit the post and it went in. So we came back in. We scored. I think there was a period of time when we didn't create much. There was a back and forth between Everton and United, but there were some controversial aspects to the game as well. I mean, when I say controversial, there's obviously Maguire. And Maguire, especially, I don't know if you guys remember when in the first half, Maguire, he got hit or kneed by Everton player and by Pickford. And that wasn't a penalty. It went to VAR, and obviously they refused to give a penalty. I just weird, because
it was shocking.
I thought that was a penalty in my opinion, but I could be a biased fan. But that was one. And then in the second half, Maguire returned the favor in a way, you could think. He took out Dinia offside. He completely missed the ball and he took him out. That was, I don't know. I felt like it could have easily been a penalty or even a red card for Maguire at that point in time. But since he was offside and VAR being VAR, didn't really consider that and didn't really offer anything in their benefit. But long story short, I thought Fred. I need to spend some time on Fred, and the guy is been like the engine. He's basically been the Kante for United in this game. He ran around. He had crucial interceptions. He was at some point he had even a lofted pass to Rashford, pulled a Sterling and couldn't really finish. But yeah, I mean, I thought this guy is growing from strength to strength. He is going to be. He's already keeping Pogba out of the team, which is very few players can do that. And he's so I thought when it came to the battle between Fred and Alan, both play for Brazil. I mean, Fred definitely did well. McTominay, he's supposed to be the best player to actually play well with Fred, but his passing range is not as good as it should be for someone playing in that position. And I just felt like, Everton, they lost this game primarily because of the fact that Richarlison was missing. He and Calvert-Lewin could have done real damage to our defense if they were playing. Holgate and Keane were not. I don't think they were. I think they were the main cause for why they conceded those goals because they left gaping holes for Bruno and for Rashford to go right to the center. There wasn't any like jumping up for the ball or anything, so it was kind of shambolic defending in that aspect. But you know what? It's a. I was also happy for the fact that Cavani got on the score sheet. It
First
was
of all,
really important. And yeah, much to credit to Bruno because you know what, he showed that leadership mentality. He could have easily gone for the hat trick, first hat trick for United and stuff like that. But he passed the ball to Cavani, who just got it into the near post. So overall, the game was, from a United supporter perspective, I couldn't be happier. I just want to say that this is just a start. I don't think I wouldn't say Ollie's at the wheel or
How
shout
many
from the
how many times
rooftops
has
and
it
be like,
started?
yeah,
How
no,
many
people
starts
have
have you had?
started that, but I'm not going to. Yeah, there's a lot. I think Ollie needs to prove right now. If he can get that consistency of results with this team, and we are quite capable of because of the teams we'll be playing. I think apart from Southampton, I think we're playing West Brom and probably even Burnley. Maybe I think some of those teams. If we can get maximum points in those games, we could be in really good position. I mean, I wouldn't want to jinx myself and say challenge for the league, but you know what? You may never know. Um, but yeah, the only person who's keeping Ollie in a job right now is Bruno. He did that when he came, and he did that in the Everton game as well.
And
so
long may he
all
continue doing that, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I mean, I really hope he does. I mean, the guy
I mean, yeah.
is phenomenal. I mean, I'm a huge fan.
Yeah, I mean, I have something to say, but Nisar, I mean, you can weigh in first.
No, go for it, Avinash. Go for it.
No, I mean, yeah, I just wanted to say this is kind of what Ole does. I think everybody's seen the pattern now. Every time he's on the brink, he'll find a way to inspire a performance. And you were talking about mentality, Sheldon, and I think we touched on this in the last episode as well. So it seems like they need something like this to happen to produce a performance. And that sort of mentality that's where the consistency is not there, because that mentality is not instilled in them, that every time they go on the pitch, they're expected to put in a certain level of performance. And Oli admitted that they have to outwork and outfight opponents every single time. And that is, it has to come from the players, but it also has to come from the manager to be able to get that out of the players consistently. He doesn't have to make inspiring speeches in the dressing room before every game, which should just happen.
Yeah.
And as far as I'm concerned, yeah, the style of play thing is something we discussed as well, about not having a consistent style of play, and this mentality thing is something I'm going to harp on about as well. And I don't think Ole is the man. And yeah, as far as being a rival fan is concerned, I'm just too happy that he keeps pulling out these
He
performances,
keeps.
because I'm concerned about Poch. I'm not going to lie. I've been concerned that he's going to take him, and I've just been hoping that he just goes and takes up some job, but he's just not doing it. It's for the United job to come up. So yeah.
See, either the United job or the City job, or I don't know, even PSG if Tuchel gets sacked over there. But I don't know. I feel like Oli has. Okay, I spoke about mentality, and so did you, right? I mean, the fact that this is Manchester United. Why does anyone need to be? Why does Oli need to be an inspiration to these players? I mean, you're already playing for Manchester United.
it's
Obviously,
not the same then.
I
No,
know, but
it's more than that, Sheldon. It's more than that. You have to show them a path. It's not just enough to say you have to go and work. You have to show them why you have to work. You have to show them a system where okay, you press high, you press in a certain way, and this is what's going to happen because of that. And they have to see that system work it's not, you just can't tell people and they'll just go and do it for you. And that is where
exactly, and that's where I feel it stems not from Oli per se, but from his coaches. Now, his coaching staff
both.
isn't that great.
It's both. Sure, I agree. But the manager has to set the vision. The coaching staff only implements that. I don't see that vision or the ability to get the best out of.
No, that's
everyone.
true. That's true. But there needs to be a trade-off. I mean, if you're going to have someone who's what do you call inexperienced manager taking taking care, taking charge of a club like United, you want to be supplementing him with enough experience. Obviously, there is Mike Phelan over there, but very more often than not, it's always been Carrick and McKenna who's been driving those sessions. And I don't think either of them are capable enough or have
No,
that.
I agree. Yeah. But
Uh,
my question is, why is an inexperienced manager even there in the first place?
Yeah.
oh,
And it's,
obviously, he shouldn't have been there.
yeah,
That's just a tap in the nostalgia factor when he came in. Like I think a lot of United fans also
And the
were.
fact that I think the fact that he went on that insane run, as in, it was, as in everyone at that point had that the romantic feeling about the fact that it's what better than this, like like a legend of the club,
Yeah.
leading us to the next stage, and yeah, as in there is definitely inconsistency, but I think one thing I always feel is that I don't think so he has lost the dressing room.
No, I don't
uh,
think that's
yeah,
Yeah.
and I think I kind of agree with what Avinash is saying. I think, and what Sheldon is saying, that yeah, there are definitely problems in the structure of how we play and what is the typical goal like when we touched and those kind of things. But I feel that he somehow is able to rally his players, and it's just that it is not consistent enough. As in, he has shown that like whenever there is a dire need of a win, they pull it off for them.
yeah.
So
But that's the thing, right?
because yeah,
Is that good
and
enough
I feel
for
that
United? That's the question.
yeah,
No, it's not. And the other thing is that, in so far in the league, we've conceded goals. Uh, we are the first out of the two teams, whoever plays us, to concede goals. And the only time when we've not, or rather, we've scored first is when we played against Spurs, which was a penalty in the second minute, and then we conceded in the fourth minute. So we've got a huge, issue about not starting strong. I think that's something which needs to be instilled.
Yeah. Anyway, I
True.
think we should
yeah, we
move
move on.
on.
Yeah, so in the last section, as such, we'll just wanted to cover uh, the title race, the early title race that is being established. It looks like Chelsea are getting their combinations right and onto winning ways, and even Tottenham are pulling off late wins and putting a string of wins together. So
Typical style.
we can just probably go round
So
around the table, and everyone probably just sharing what they think about who the title contenders are
so
for this year.
so I just wanted to make a quick note, Nisar. In the introduction, you said like all the teams got the routine wins like Tottenham, Chelsea. You forgot to mention Leicester. They are on top of the table right now, and they won
That's
too.
true. That's
Yeah,
true.
So
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
and
anyway.
they have won a title.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. More titles than Arsenal in the last decade, more than that, and
Yeah.
Man U combined.
Yeah.
Actually, I had some. Yeah. I mean, I think I'll start first. I want to
Yeah,
touch
go
on
for it.
Leicester mainly. And yeah, I asked something about. Yeah. Well, we'll go for Leicester first. So I think they have. I touched upon this briefly in the last episode as well. I think they have seemed to have addressed some of the issues they faced towards the end of last season. I think both in terms of tactics and personnel, it feels like they have a greater squad depth this time. Because if you look at it, they've been without Pereira, they've been without NDD, Madison, Soyuncu, to name a few, and these were all being mentioned as reasons for why they sort of collapsed last season. And somehow he's managing to get them to perform at a very high level while still being in Europe. So I think
Yeah.
he's really figured out how to use his resources better, and maybe they have better resources as well overall compared to last season. And also, there's greater variety tactically, I feel, because again, like we mentioned last time, I think he's added the ability to sort of play on the counter attack, to just be able to stay in shape and soak up pressure and then transition really well, which is something that we were not used to seeing from Leicester that much. And I think that is something which is important for a team like Leicester, who don't necessarily have the highest level of player quality in every position. So you kind of have to adapt to the opposition, and you can't just rely on one way of playing, which we were talking about last time. So, I actually feel like Leicester could be a threat. The only thing I can see is they are extremely reliant on Vardy.
Yep.
And that,
Yeah.
for me, is the only sort of Achilles heel, if you like. Uh, And yeah, Brendan Rodgers, Leicester won a title before. Brendan has gone close once before. He has won titles in Scotland, so I don't know. I think they could be one to watch out for.
He'll bottle it. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he's
And at some
dude.
point, you think he'll learn.
You should
So
be. I was gonna say, like, as a Liverpool fan, you probably understand that even better. The fact that Rogers is known for the fact that bottles it towards the end. But then again, you know what? I do agree that Leicester have started strong, which is very reminiscent of what they did last season as well. I think they were in the top 4 or top 3 starting
Three, top
top
September.
three
three,
pretty
pretty
much
much.
most of the season.
Yeah,
Pretty
Until
much.
majority
after
of the
loss.
Yeah.
season, and then they kind of gave way
Yeah.
because of the injuries and the loss in form and stuff like that. So but I was going to highlight the fact that Jose, you can never count him out. It's a second season. He's known to work
Yeah.
magic in the second season. He got United to second spot, which is supposed to be his best ever
His
achievement.
achievement.
So, but yeah, I mean, he could, and you know what? It could be like a fairy tale because if Jose gets Tottenham to win their first title in God knows how many. I mean, since the Premier League came into
Have they
being.
won it?
First
No,
Premier
they've
League
not.
Not the
Yeah.
Premier League.
Yeah, not the Premier League, of course.
Yeah. I'm just saying that they've kind of turned into this Jose team where they've actually been scoring. Time comes, they've been also getting or rather, luck's been favoring them because they, with that crucial header against who did they play again?
West Brom, I think.
Yeah. They played against
West
West
Brom.
Brom, and in the dying minutes, Harry Kane decides, he got those 3 crucial points. So it's too early to say, but you know what? If Jose can find himself lurking around in the top, top 4 or right just outside the top 4, I think he could be in there, pushing for the title. Especially with Liverpool and Man City not performing up to what they were usually capable of.
Yeah.
This could be a photo finish.
I don't think it's going to be. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, there is no
But
way.
then,
Yeah.
but then you spoke about Brendan bottling it well. That's what Spurs do as well. So I think that's again we
Yeah.
are talking
Yeah,
about a manager who's used to winning,
Spurs
but a
without-
team who is used to bottling. So
but Jose
that's
is a.
I know. Yeah, I totally agree with the Jose factor. And we discussed
Bale
about.
factor?
I mean, yeah, we don't know, but we don't. I'm still not sure what Bale can contribute. But we spoke about the sort of the rare breed of manager that it takes to win a title last time around when we were discussing Oli. Well, I mean, Jose is a serial title winner. He's done it in every country he's been in.
Tried and tested, yeah.
4 managers who have won the Premier League. So, I mean, yeah, I cannot. And Spurs have the depth this time.
Yeah.
So I am worried about Spurs. I'm not going to lie. Just because of Jose.
As in, from my perspective, one of the teams I did mention was like Chelsea. Like, I think they are finding their gear really well. The team seems to be shaping up nice.
Yeah.
Chilwell, even like from the defensive point, like the keeper, anything but Kepa is probably going to be a plus. And it looks like they have a decent keeper. Defensive problems are looking like they're better than the last time. Attacking wise, I don't even want to start. They just have options galore. And Ziyech also started very well. He's looking like a really good player. So yeah, as in I
He's
would
going to be crucial.
yeah, and
Ziyech is
yeah,
brilliant.
yeah, as in the last game he was really good, and I actually did like I did like the inclusion of Tammy Abraham. I felt that this is probably the right structure to play with.
I think we spoke about the front 3 being well balanced last time.
Yeah, exactly. And so yeah, I think they are also definitely amongst the contention, and yeah, I feel it's definitely a shout out for them.
What would
Rahul,
be
what do you
Chelsea's
think?
Achilles heel though?
Their defense, I feel.
Yeah, and manager for me. Again, I don't know about Lampard whether he can. Like I said, again, it's
Sustain.
not winning a title is not a joke.
Winning a title is a different
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. So yeah, I think defense and that and midfield. I don't know. They still kind of reliant on Kane. They don't have a lot of central midfield options. I know Mount has been playing there. I think he can do a job.
Kovacic. Then there's Kovacic.
Yeah, Kovacic and
Kovacic,
another
yeah.
Jorginho. I've never been. I don't think even Lampard's convinced. They kind of wanted to let him go, but
Yeah,
they couldn't.
Yeah.
Arsenal.
I think
also.
Jorginho is being, I think, probably going to be sold to Arsenal. At least
Yeah,
that's
I
what I
know.
heard the
That's what.
rumors.
Yeah, that's what I've
Was
heard
supposed.
too. That like
Yeah.
instead of if Partey didn't work out, maybe it was Jorginho.
Is it
But
like the Southampton Liverpool relationship where players from Southampton go to Liverpool and
no, but
Yeah.
they go there when they are on their peak. Like Liverpool takes them when they're on peak. Like on the bell curve, they are on this side. But
Oh.
in Arsenal's way, it's on this side when they're on their way down. So
True.
the only,
First,
probably the only player that crossed
I think
that
Willian has
border.
always been like this in his career. It's not even
No,
like
but right now, looking at like from what we discussed till now, it's been this. There is no this going to
no, I
happen in
mean
my life.
during his career, so it's
I
you
know,
can't
I
even
know.
say it.
Yeah, but Gallas was, I think, the last.
Williams' performance is
Gallas, then you had
directly
Petr
proportional
Cech
to
as well,
the
right?
conversation. Sorry, go ahead.
I think a lot
Sorry.
of things happened.
uh,
Yeah.
Something about Gallus.
No, so I was just saying that I think Gallas was one of the last players that crossed the divide for Arsenal, which was good. And I think Petr Cech, to answer your question, Sheldon, he was good for sure, and he filled the void that we had, like the the goalkeeping problems that we had. Chesney and who's that? Fabianski and all the players. So he was definitely a good player when he joined, but definitely not on his like a prime when he. But to sort of get my team out of the way, I think I, I don't have a clear like the season has been so open, but like I don't even know what
You
to
can go for
predict.
Southampton.
No, I feel I have to sort of go on with Nisar's choice there. I feel like Chelsea might be the team. Like they will just go ahead because other teams are not performing consistently, like at the level where Liverpool, Manchester City were. From that reason, not because they are the best team in the EPL, I feel, but from the perspective of like what random results are coming up this season, and plus like the major teams not killing games and not winning all the points, I feel just because of that, I feel Chelsea might be the contender, but it's
They have
yeah.
to.
It could also come down to how they play against the top six. So far, what they've got drawn with United, they've lost to Liverpool, right?
Yeah.
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 Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, yeah, those will be crucial, but looks
and
like yeah.
top six is relative this season.
Yeah, it looks like there are a lot of other
That's
teams as
true.
well which are difficult. So
Yeah,
Yeah. Southampton,
it's
Villa.
we have a
Yeah,
top seed every
definitely.
season.
so.
Everton.
So apparently Leicester, I'm just looking at this right now. Leicester, Aston Villa, and Arsenal are the only teams who haven't drawn a match. Like they have had results in each of their 8 matches.
Interesting.
I
That
mean,
could have been the start of the week also.
yeah, I just noticed this. I was
Yeah.
looking at the table to see what's going on. Yeah.
Cool. I think we can probably wrap it up for this
Yeah.
week, unless any of you have any points to add.
Um,
If not, then yeah, please like, share, subscribe the videos, follow us on Twitter, uh, and yeah, hopefully we can bring on more interesting content, and hopefully this content helps you to go through the boring international break going on.
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah. So with that, we'll sign off and take care. See ya.